Hello and welcome. I am your host and speaker, Alona Maria A. Cortez. Thank you for taking the time to join us today as we talk about fractions. Stay tuned to learn more about it. And to make sure we're helping you as best as we can on the topic, we have a chat box to source your questions. Feel free to drop your questions on the topic or share your struggles and experiences. We'll answer your questions by the end of each guest session, and we'll collect the most upvoted questions so we can answer them for you at the end of the presentation. Also, don't worry about making notes immediately, since we'll send this session's recording later. Without further ado, let me introduce you to the speakers and their agendas. Speaker 1 is Ms. Elveria Quiñones, a cum laude graduate from the La Salle University who took up Bachelor of Science in Mathematics. The second speaker is yours truly, a fresh graduate from CTU main campus. And the third speaker is Mr. Luis Fernandez, graduate at University of San Jose Recoletos, who took up BS Ed major in Mathematics cum laude. We, your speakers, will train you about fractions so that you will gain knowledge about it. We'll dive into three agendas. The agenda 1 is the definition of fractions, agenda 2, the types of fractions, and agenda 3, the operations of fractions. Now, please welcome Mr. Luis Fernandez for the opening message.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to our webinar where we talk about fractions. Thank you so much for taking time to attend our small webinar. You are in for educational program featuring top expert speakers in our field. I would like to acknowledge the dedication and hard work of our talented members, without whom this event would not be possible. I would also like to thank each person in the audience. I know many of you have taken time to be in our small webinar. Your support and decision to invest your time and energy into attending is to be applauded. I know you are here for the main event, so I will keep this brief. I'd like to share just few key tips to make the most of your time. Agenda 1 is we have definition of fractions, agenda 2 is type of fractions, and agenda 3 is operation of fractions. And please pay attention to each and every speakers because our speakers have given their effort to make this event possible. Thank you again for making time in your busy schedule to attend our webinar where we talk about fractions. I am certain you will be glad you did. The webinar about fractions is officially open. Now, I welcome back our host, Ms. Alona Cortez.
Thank you, Mr. Luis Fernandez. And to start the agenda, please welcome Ms. Elveria Quiñones.
Good day, everyone. I am Elveria Quiñones. Before we go into our main topics, we discuss first the basic math skills. So, what are basic math skills? Basic math skills are those that involves making calculations of amounts, sizes, or other measurements. Core concepts like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division provide a foundation for learning and using more advanced math concepts. Hence, for the topic of this webinar, knowing basic math skills are important. Now, let's move on to our main topic, fraction. What is fraction? Fraction represents equal parts of a whole or a collection. The fraction of a whole is when we divide a whole into equal parts. Each part is a fraction of the whole. For example, we have one watermelon. Then we divided it into two equal parts. So, each part of one watermelon is 1/2. Another example is when one watermelon is divided into 4 equal parts, each part is called 1/4. Meanwhile, the fraction of collection defines that fractions also represent parts of a set or collection. For example, there are a total of 5 children. 3 out of 5 are girls. So, 3 out of 5 is 3/5. Hence, the fraction of girls is 3/5. And 2 out of 5 are boys. The fraction of boys is 2/5. Now, the fraction notation. A fraction has 2 parts. The number on top of the line and below the line. The number on top is called the numerator. It tells how many equal parts of the whole or collection are taken. The number below the line is called the denominator. It shows the total divisible number of equal parts which are there in a collection.
Thank you, Miss Elvira. Now, let us move into the types of fractions. So we have four types of fractions: the unit fractions, the proper fractions, the improper fractions, and the mixed fractions. Fractions with numerator 1 are called unit fractions. Examples are 1/2, 1/3, 1/4, 1/5. Proper fractions are fractions in which the numerator is less than the denominator. Example, 3/4, 2/3, 8/10. The improper fractions are fractions in which the numerator is more than or equal to the denominator. Example, 4/4 is equal to 1, 4/3, or 5/4. And last is a mixed fractions. Mixed fractions consist of a whole number along with a proper fraction. Example, 1 and 1/3, 3 and 3/4. So that's it for the types of fractions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand. None? Okay, then let's proceed to the last agenda, which will be led by Mr. Luis Fernandez.
So, good day everyone. My name is Luis Fernandez, and again, I would be the one who will talk about our third agenda, that is operation of fractions. And this topic we will tackle first addition. In adding fractions, first is if the denominator are the same for the given fraction, we can directly add the numerator of the fraction. Second is if the denominator are different, the fraction are called a like fraction. In this case, we cannot add the numerator directly. First step is to find the LCM of both denominator. Using this, we can now make the unlike fraction to like fractions. And now we can now add both fractions or add the numerator of the fractions. Next is we would tackle about subtraction, or the next operation would be subtraction. Subtracting fractions is similar to adding fractions. Instead of adding, we would be doing subtracting at the relevant places. So in the case of like fractions, we can directly subtract the numerator of fractions. In unlike fractions, we can use two different methods as well, taking the LCM of the denominator. And subtracting mixed fractions is, in the case, first we have to separate the whole part and the fractional part. Other method if we have to convert a mixed fraction into a improper fraction. And next would be multiplication of fractions or multiply fractions. The multiplication of fractions is quite simple. We have to multiply numerator of the given fractions and then multiply the denominator of the given fractions. If required, we could convert the fraction into simplest term or the reduced term. And lastly, the dividing fraction or division of fraction. The division of fraction method have the following steps. First, include the concept of reciprocal of fractions which have the inverse of the given fraction. Then next is multiply the first fraction with the reciprocal of the first fraction. So now, as you can see in the PowerPoint, you can see that how it went. So that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Luis Fernandez. And to conclude our webinar, we'll have again Miss Olivia Quiñones to give her closing message.
Fractions actually have a lot of uses in our everyday lives, on cooking, measurements, telling time, and even on money. So now, since we have reached to the end of our topic, firstly, I would like to start by expressing my appreciation to you all, the speakers of the excellency on the topic, and to the coordinators. It's been an honor to be among such accomplished individuals and to be able to present the topic successfully. Hope you all learn from us. Have a great day.